All right, here we go. Kind of yellow. Oops. And we'll put Mini-Me in the corner so I don't forget about it. And we are going to fade this guy out. And here we go. Here we go. That's kind of confusing. Just a quick practice session, not really a rant, but still trying to discover, uncover, evolve into what exactly I want this to be on a daily, weekly, bi-weekly, whatever it is basis. So let's look at the news together and go from there, which means I got to do this guy. You get to see my crazy software briefly, and then I will pull up what I deem to be the most reliable, kind of straight down the middle, at least in terms, forget the editorial stuff, front page news, what's going on in the country and the world. And here we go. How Trump and Musk rekindled a relationship that, seemed beyond repair. Because Elon's going to spend $100 million. So Elon is dedicated to, it's interesting, he's kind of not conservative, but he's kind of conservative. So there was a meme where Elon said, this is me, and here's the goalpost, and here's before, and here's after. And he was left to center. I went in the wrong direction, but he was left to center, then he was right to center, and had nothing to do with the change of his beliefs, but it had to do with the change of the positions, I'm not even going to say values, espoused by the Democrats / progressives / left. You know, whatever the equation is there. Okay. Trump orders older tech to be restored on aircraft carriers, costing billions. I read this last night. It doesn't seem like a good decision. What do I know? That having been said, hey, President, stay the fuck out of the nuance of how new aircraft technology is designed. Stay the fuck out. You can't know enough, presumably, to make that call. And that having been said, that's not your fucking job, right? Most of the stuff you delegate, and then you sign or veto. Larger conversation there. How big tech earnings are inflated by other tech companies, yada yada on that one. Financial advice, another yada yada. How Hakeem Jeffries could try and tackle the Supreme Court. Jeffries is tapping, and let's just see real quick. He said he's very supportive of making major structural reforms to the Supreme Court, alleging it had become a subsidiary of the Make America Great Again movement. Look, I'm no Trump defender, but Trump got criticized for appointing a judge when he was in the final quarter, maybe final eighth of his term. You legislate until your legislative period ends. And if it's like, well, he's towards the end, so he should just defer and let somebody else decide. That's not how it works. And I personally would like the Supreme Court to be 5-4 either way. And Lucy is wagging her tail at me, and she has something to say. Do you have strong opinions on the Supreme Court balance? Do you? So I'm just going to guess here, and move on, that he's thinking it should go to 13, and that's just bullshit to tilt the court in another direction. 13-9, you know what? So 7-6, 5-4, what's the fucking difference? To me, it's academic, but if they win the midterms and they can load it up, that's what's going to go on. And I don't believe in loading up, right? I'm alt-center, and I am alt-center. And some would argue no, but I'm going to say the same thing, and I'm not defending Elon, but the goalposts fucking move, right? AOC, woke one. Well, it's woke one, you know. What did we know? You stand by what you said or you don't. Otherwise, it's like standing for nothing, right? What's politically convenient to me? And if the wind shifts directions, well, I'll just shift who I say I am and what I say I stand for. Yeah, I call bullshit on that. And if you stand for bullshit, then you're not a leader and you stand for nothing. Battlefield innovations reshaping the Russian-Ukraine war, drones, asymmetric warfare, and on and on. If you're paying attention, you know what that is. We're rifling through headlines. Caroline Levitt, who is very talented, she's very well spoken, she's very quick, very talented at kind of effectively shouting down those she doesn't like, doesn't want to hear from, and or doesn't agree with, herself and on Trump's behalf. Maybe more of the latter, maybe all the latter, I don't know. Anyway, NATO jet downs drone as concerns grow over Russia threat. Huh. I thought we were agreeing that things were tilting towards Ukraine and their ability to employ asymmetric warfare and so on. Those are kind of cool, except I don't like white and souls. I digress. NATO scrambled 4 jet fighters to shoot down a foreign drone that entered Latvian airspace early on Friday. Interesting. Amid concerns that Russia's war in Ukraine is increasing, breaching the military alliance's eastern frontier. That is a concern. Latvia's Ministry of Defense didn't immediately identify the drone's origin, but said it had entered airspace as a result of Russian electromagnetic warfare. Kind of strongly suggests it's Russian. A senior Latvian official said the drone hadn't been found and that the country wouldn't rush to conclude where it came from, except it's from Russia. Yeah, that's a concern. What have I missed? We're staying away from editorials. Even Claude is in the dark about Dario Amodi's wife and her influence at Anthropic. All right, that's getting a little too deep for me. I'll look at that later. Answer your questions about Europe's new entry system. Sounds like politicized. Well, maybe not, but sounds like it's immigration centered. That's it. I'm going to call it the rifle. Rifling through the front page. I just coined my new term. That's the rifle. So that's my morning rifle. If you like this, please make a comment. Room for improvement. Just the right amount of length. Too quick. I don't think it was too long. Shut up at the end and end it. That's that. So later on. Bye-bye. It's Friday. Have a nice weekend. I'll get the fuck out. I didn't click on the page. Oh yeah, I did. I think I did. So, fade me back. And there we go. So that's it. Bye-bye. I will talk to you later. I hope I didn't fuck it up. Later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.